All right, in this one, we're going to be going over legends, adding legends onto your map. So what's a legend other than being you because you're a great programmer? Gotcha, dad joke. Anyway, a legend is, we've all seen these on different data visualizations or whatever. It's a little spot on the map that has, a little rectangle that contains some text or some colors that kind of explain what things mean on the map. Right? If there's a bunch of different colors on your map, it tells you, oh, red equals, it means this, and blue means this, and yellow means that. So, when on an online map, we sometimes want to have that. We might have a ton of colors and we want to tell someone if we're having different crops or something, we need to tell them what each of the colors represents. So at the core, what this is in terms of us as programmers is we just need to be able to put like a div on top of the map and then fill it with some custom content. We're going to have to use things like Flex and CSS and HTML to lay it out properly. It might need to lay out side by side. We might need to lay it out in lots of different ways. For example, for one map that I've done here, we have this legend down in the bottom right, which kind of tells us what each coloration means in terms of cost so that you can actually have some kind of sense of scale. But you can see I've had to lay this out with the HTML and CSS and everything. So there's all these different chunks, and I've laid it out, and I've had to give it colors, and I've had to give the text underneath. So it's basically just a little spot with some HTML. So that's what we need to know how to do. So it's not terribly complicated. There's a couple ways to do it. So I've done it in Leaflet and in MapLibra. But the way I do it in Leaflet also does apply to MapLibra. It's just a little simpler. So basically all I've done here is alongside my div that has the map, I've created a div that's called custom control, and I just wrote hello in it. And you can see it up here in the top corner. And all I did, nothing special with the map at all. The map is just plain. We don't do anything more here. I've just done some custom CSS. And I've done it positioned absolute, which we didn't go over, but that kind of means it's detached from everything else on the page. A Z index, which we also haven't gone over. And Z index is basically about layering on a page. So this being a high value makes sure that it's on top of everything. It's on top of the map and everything else. Some basic margin, which we have gone over. You can see the 10 pixels around the outside. I've told it to go to the right, completely in the top right, top 0 and right 0. This sends it to the top right. Given it a background that's white and some padding inside so the text has a little bit of space around it. So that's all I've done. Then I've just filled it with whatever I wanted for the rest of it here. And I could put in any kind of custom divs and do more special styling and everything like that. So this works on MapLibra or Leaflet, but I wanted to go over a bit of a more complicated way that we can do it in MapLibra, just for the sake of showing it to you, as you get more advanced and become even more of a legend yourself. So here is the little legend. It says here's some HTML, pretty basic. Now here, instead of just adding a straight div that's just completely styled through CSS, I add it through JavaScript. And MapLibra actually has a special thing that they've created to do this that allows you to have some of the same functionality that their other controls have. So if you look at some of the other sections in here, when we've added things like zoom controls, or we've added things like geocoders onto the map as controls, we can add them in the top right, top left. We just have to pass this little bit of detail. For instance, in this, let's say the geolocate control, it has these options, right? It has like, oh, where do you want to put it? You want to put it in the top right, top left, those sorts of things. Well, this special type of control that they have has some of that functionality, and it has a little bit of default styling as well. It's not terribly important to use, just kind of cool to show and introducing another concept, which is classes. I'm not even going to try to explain what classes are, but basically, we're just making it this way. So in order to make this little custom control, we do this thing, class hello world control, and we have some methods that are inside it. One is called onAdd, one is called onRemove. Again, we don't really need to know exactly what this does. It's happy for you to use it without understanding it totally. What will happen when the onAdd works is that it will create this div. So there's this thing, create div. You'll be able to give it a class name. So it comes by default with this class name. If we look at the example here, it comes with that class name by default. And I've added another one called my custom control. And then in the inner HTML, we can give it custom HTML, right? We can write that all in however we want, whatever we need in there. And then we could write custom CSS to style it, right? I've here put my custom control and just made the background white because by default, I think it was just transparent or something. And then it returns it. So, okay, we don't, again, this is probably a little complicated. I think that's fair. Just as long as you get the core concept here that you can change the class and you can write some HTML here, this is kind of a bit more advanced way. And then in order to actually add that onto the map, you do the map.add control. Then you do this new hello world control and you tell it where you want it to go. Top left, top right, whatever. So that's not to tell you that you should do it this way. I think this way is actually totally fine. And I still do it this way often because it's just so simple and straightforward. But this is kind of the like fancy schmancy way as you become more familiar with this and you want to try something new. Yeah, give this a shot. You can start learning about classes this way. You can start learning about, you know, injecting HTML with JavaScript and this kind of junk. That is great to learn as you move on. So that's a bit about adding legends, and hopefully that's helpful. We'll see you in another one.